So you watched Death Note today?
Yeah, seriously flawed, but I can't say I disliked it. You know, that's what.
What did you feel about?
The middle section of it was actually a really good Death Note movie. It was sort of the opening felt a bit rushed, and the climax was a bit jumbled. It felt like they didn't want to end it.
Tell me about the climax.
I mean, I can't say I expected a Death Note movie to end with a Ferris wheel collapsing, but you know,
Yeah.
I will say that whole revelation at the end was the only part that felt like the light from the original source material as opposed to the
So
one.
you have seen this anime.
Yeah, and I've read the manga.
Okay, what did you think about the characters and how they were portrayed in the movie?
Well, one thing I can say about both Light and L, the one thing that's different in the movie is that they're both they seem less in control of the situation than they were in the original. Because Light's mostly a victim of stuff here as opposed to the instigator of it.
Now, give me an example of pros and cons. Just
I
a
mean,
couple examples.
I'm trying to remember Keith. Is it Keith Stansfield? I'm trying to remember what the actor played. L feels like the right kind of L at the beginning, but then I understand why. But
L is the most faithful character in that entire.
for the first half.
Sir, you are not in this interview.
For the first half of it, he is pretty
Well,
much.
that's because his only source to of humanity got taken away.
That is true. I guess that's kind of.
He had no feelings. I mean, he had feelings, but he never showed his emotion.
Portrayal of Ryuk and L I've ever seen in my life.
But yeah, he was.
Do you agree with
probably
that?
The most.
He's the best actor out of all of them.
Oh yeah, and even though you don't, although I can't,
I
he's
really
doing,
like the
he's doing his
original
Green
L,
Goblin voice, so I can't help
but
but think of that damn outfit.
I do like
Ryuk
Keith
and L are the
Stanfield.
most faithful live action. Of
They're
those
pretty good.
I've seen.
Yeah,
What's your favorite Death
yeah.
Note film?
The fourth one that people didn't like,
Uh,
just because the
You know what
CGI
the problem
was
with others?
fantastic.
You know what the problem with others L's are in that though? They're not weird enough. This L's weird enough.
This one, he ate a lot of candy too,
He's
just
weird.
like the original.
Well, all the others look like just a bunch of normal Japanese dudes just trying
No,
to
Also, what was
trying
up-
to do this.
What was
Like,
up with that
that's all they do.
sci-fi
They're just like-
pistol he pulled out at the end?
The first
Yeah,
one,
that was not L.
I didn't mind him like the chase part because it was a well done chase. I can say that, but it felt a bit
The
weird.
new one, he's weird.
Yeah.
honestly, he looked.
My life is on that thing.
Although, do you think he's gonna write the name down at the end or not?
He did. He was going to because that wouldn't be L. But then he came out with the gun, so
Yeah, I was
I'm
about
like,
to
he
say.
might as well just write his name. I mean,
Yeah,
what was
He
the
never
point?
actually tried to shoot him.
Yeah, no, he looked like he was about to at one point.
Yeah.
It looked like it was a stop type of situation. He
Yeah.
never tried to shoot Light. It looked like that because he's playing to what works. You know what I mean?
I thought the idea
If
was
someone points a gun at you and says stop, it's not going to be it's going to be way more effective than if someone just says stop.
Well, yeah.
Halt, villain.
And also, even though he's there for like 1 second, I find the fact that they cast the cigarette smoking man from the X Files as a conspiracy guy pretty funny.
Yeah.
I didn't notice that.
There were, I do agree, there were a few funny parts. I had a
I'm
chuckle.
sorry,
at.
that him screaming near the beginning is just laugh out loud funny.
Yeah, that I did not expect that.
Although the gore was kind of cool.
I did not expect that either. I mean, Death Note is kind of dark, but
Yeah, it's not that violent when you
Did
actually
you
look at
expect
it.
all the fucks?
No,
I did not expect that.
That was when I was just like, oh well, okay.
Oh,
It's modern TV.
Yeah, it's
yeah.
edgy. They're trying to to be edgy. That's what it was.
Yeah, it was like every sentence. I was just like, wow, I definitely can't watch this around
Every
anybody.
sentence.
It was
Yeah,
close.
the gore is okay, but once they say fuck.
Hey, watch your mouth.
Sir, this is a PG interview.
It's just modern day teenagers.
Oh, by modern day you mean 50 years ago?
Huh?
They swear or back then too.
Well,
They just
Either way.
they just didn't do it around women. That's
it's
what it
it's American teenagers. Let's say that.
is. I suppose. Now I'm pretty sure the Russians do it a lot too.
But it's not Japanese teenagers.
Well, they don't have quite the vocabulary as far as swearing goes.
Precisely. So fuck type.
Isn't it pretty much like the only equivalent they have is a word that kind of means like damn or hell? Like it's not really that's like the closest they come to.
Well, no. But it's America, so we gotta say fuck all the time.
It's not that it's America. It's that we gotta try hard to make this really dark and edgy. That's the same reason the gore is in it for the most part.
I think the gore's in it because they just wanted to do fun gory
Oh, that's
stuff.
And it looks good too. So I can't. If it looked like real fake CG, I'd kind of.
Ryuk looks great.
Oh yeah.
Ryuk is genius.
Yeah.
He looks perfect. He looks real the entire time.
Also,
Because he's only like 10% CGI.
yeah. I can say I never expected to hear an Air Supply song in a Death Note movie.
I thought it worked though.
It
I
did.
thought all of the music.
The music
worked.
did work really well.
I did like
ending
the
is so great when it's
yeah.
ending and he's like about to write the note down and it's like playing like was that the Air
Power
Supply
of
song?
Love by-
Power of
yeah.
Love.
Well,
I was like, oh, that's great.
the original 2 Death Note movies used Red Hot Chili Peppers.
That's great.
Yeah, that's true.
At the end of the first and beginning of the second, they used
Dude, no, they're-
Danny California. In the end of the second, they used Heyo.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
No, this
Yeah.
whole movie is filled with 80s soft rock and it's wonderful.
Yeah, because they got an NXX song in there somewhere.
I like the slow mo part. I mean, it didn't really fit the movie, but
Slow-mo part, which one is it?
when they were falling out of the Ferris wheel.
I thought that entire end scene was really contrived, but it brought light to be like light. So
Yeah.
I kind of.
It made more sense once you saw it at the end. You were
Yeah.
shining
that
at
entire bit is way too contrived, and there's no way that that would work with those rules. But it makes them like conniving. So
Yeah, well, they did change the rules a fair bit.
So in peace, what would you rate this movie?
Oh, you see, I can't rate movies that are mixed bags because they kind of,
it's too muffly now.
because I don't want to
If
rate.
you had to go on IMDb and put it a rating out of a 10,
Maybe because I'm a fan of the property, I'd give it at least maybe a 7. I don't know. So maybe that's a real big maybe. Because
now if you can think about it, if you didn't watch the anime
I wouldn't be watching it.
at all, like just like oh,
I
what if?
probably wouldn't be watching it if I didn't watch the anime. That's
But what if like you see Netflix promotions for it all?
That's.
I would have totally watched it if I hadn't watched the anime. I thought the trailer was really cool.
Yeah, I did too.
I didn't mind, Naked Brothers man guy in it, but once again, I think the way they wrote the character didn't really work until the last scene.
If they gave him a chance to be Light, I think he'd be a really good.
He
Light.
actually did. He performed
Yeah.
well as when he was a bit more sociopathic, not when he's trying to get out of it.
If they gave like a
If
like
they-
a
if
20
they wrote
minute,
him as Light, he would be a really good Light.
if they
Yeah.
gave him like a 20-minute feel of when he became Kira,
Yeah,
that would have been
Dude,
good.
after I watched it, there's such a clear, obvious way to do Death Note the movie, right?
yeah, but
You
it's
do
going
a
to take him like
trilogy.
10 years to do
You
it.
do, no, you do a trilogy. You do the birth of Kira, the hunt for Kira, which ends with L's death, and then you do Kira's New World.
I guess, but
You see, that is exactly how it should have been done.
Well, I think that's a great way to do it, and you can cut out all the really annoying parts.
Exactly.
Like what's the company whenever Light loses his memory and all that crap that I was completely disinterested in?
I will admit that's the weakest point in the show.
You can
back to
cut
the-
all of that out,
They pretty much did that in the other live action ones they did.
and you can just have the second movie literally just be the hunt for Kira.
Well, the
And then
problem
it
with
ends
that,
with L's death, and then you have the cliffhanger, and
Well-
then you do M and N in the next
Yeah.
movie.
well, the issue with a Death Note movie, if you're starting from the beginning, is that the first episode is an act to itself, and then you have to introduce L in the second one, so it feels a bit off. But
But introduce him at the end of the first one.
that wouldn't really make too much sense because you'd have to pad out the whole thing with a.
I think you could do a really cool like climax of a movie with like the press conference where he kills the stand-in.
Oh yeah,
That could be a really cool like third act of your movie. You just have to
There
pad it
has to
out.
be another Kira for it to really work. At some, yeah, you're right.
You'd have to pad it out and it'd have to be more suspenseful, but you could do it, and like that would be so cool.
Yeah.
If like the big like, oh my gosh, credit roll is whenever like the letter comes back up and he's just like, that was a decoy. I'm coming after you now.
Maybe-
Question: what did you think about the ending when Ryuk came in and then
I loved it.
you
because
loved
it's
it?
completely ambiguous.
Just like the cliffhanger, just like that credits and boom.
Oh yeah, it's great.
Would you want a sequel?
If they did it better, like if
I don't know that you can do a sequel.
They said they're open to it.
I mean,
How though? How do you
by
do a
killing
sequel when
them off.
I was gonna say, how do you do a sequel with L that already knows that Light's Kira?
That's true.
Well, he already kind of guessed that early on, but he.
Yeah, but he wasn't. He didn't have concrete evidence. And
Yeah, but think about it. L is no one's gonna listen to L right then because everyone he's kind of
I think the only way you can do a sequel is, bro, you're probably gonna have to kill L off and do Milo and Nier.
Milo.
Yeah. Did you see? Have
Mellow in
you
here.
seen the? I know you have. You've seen the anime. So have you seen the rewrites when it showed that Light actually won and he didn't die at the end?
Yeah, but then they did the
I
second.
don't like it.
Yeah.
I don't- No. Nothing is more satisfying on that show than when Ryuk just sits there and writes the
Yeah.
name down and he's just running and there's like there's no music and he just like he's sitting on top of the water tower. Oh, it's so great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's got that absurd part with Mikami. Because yeah, you're gonna believe that much from a pen.
Now, watching the movie, did you think of watching the anime again?
Probably, or at least the first episode.
I did. I went to go watch the first episode again.
I did not because I had just recently rewatched it.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, how? I watched the movie twice in one day though. I watched it by myself, and then somebody else came over, and they wanted to hate watching. I was like, it's not that bad. I'll show you. It's not that bad.
Maybe with a few, I think I would put it with a few rewrites where you make the opening when he's becoming Kira longer, and then you make the climax a bit less contrived. I think it's a good one.
I think if you just take out the Mia character
Well,
and give all of her character development to Light,
I feel like
Better.
I feel like what they did with her.
they took Light and made him two characters.
Yeah. Somebody said Mia is the Light that Light isn't.
only at the end though, pretty much.
Like she tried to be really smart, and you know,
But she's got the ruthless thing down.
yeah. And that should have just been for Light. I know how they try to do it because I know how society is today, where they're just like, oh, that
This movie
female's
did-
dumb, you
This
know.
movie did do something that I'm really a little irritated that the anime never did.
What?
Because it's really smart and it's a really easy way to figure out whether Light is Kira or not. Make his dad go out. That was a really smart addition.
Yeah.
Make his
That
dad
was
go.
a really smart way to like move the plot forward.
Oh
really fast.
yeah,
No,
yeah, yeah.
no.
It's like, okay, how do we, I think it's Light. Let's just make his dad go out there, and if
Yeah.
he doesn't kill him, then that's it. That solidifies it.
That was smart. I did.
I do hate the way they mention the whole Kira name. I mean, it's better when someone else comes up with it, not them.
I liked it though.
But he's L saw through
I
it
thought it was
immediately.
smart.
In Japanese, it means Kira, so they wouldn't expect it to
No,
be in
it's-
Seattle.
I think it's so smart to work it in to be like use it as a misdirect to where they're looking on the wrong continent. Like that's smart. They didn't do anything with it, but it's
Yeah.
a really smart idea.
It was just there
Yeah.
to make L look smart, I guess, because he saw through it immediately.
well, it was their way of like staying true to the source material that no longer takes place in Japan anymore.
Well,
Yeah.
remember, even then they never established it fully, but they someone else came up with the name after the fact. Once it's
Right.
yeah.
That's so smart. That's such a smart way for them to just be like, we're gonna use this. It's like, why? Because it's Japanese and they'll be looking on the wrong continent. That's a really smart idea. They should have played with it.
Yeah. I do think the movie was a bit too short.
An
Definitely.
hour and 40. It needed like another 30 minutes.
Yeah, I was about to say,
Yeah,
like
for
2
sure.
hours, 10 minutes.
For
you have
sure.
a good pace right there.
So Connor, what would you rate it? Would you give it out of a 10?
Out of 10,
Yeah.
probably give it like a soft 6 or 7. It's probably not 7. I'd give it a passing grade. I'd give it like a 6.
Yeah, my thing with it, I can't rank.
I would just give it like a passing grade. It'd be like a C plus B minus minus.
Well, like I said, I can't really do the rating scale with like a mixed bag.